Station, everybody, because we've got the great Herminio. Reyes Jr. is in the house. Good to see you, man.
What up, everyone? How's it going? I'm here like ready to go. What up? And then I still had the thumbnail up on there. You know me, technical difficulties always. It can't be a show without technical difficulties for the Big Herm Show. The Big Herm Show is back. It's been a while since I did this, guys, on the YouTubes. I've been on the One Collection Down Instagram, having a great time with those guys. Pop-up shows here and there. But pretty soon, this month, if I believe, no, actually next month, because it's April 30th. It's still not May. It's gonna be May pretty soon, but it's not May right now. But the hashtag Blame Phable Tonight Show will return next month, May 15th, Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern, like we always do. You know what I'm saying? With the movie reviews and all that. And I thought it was filling me to put ComicManAndy in front of my intro again. It's been a while since I did that because he's gonna be our first guest on return back to the hashtag Blame Phable Show, and hopefully my guest tonight one day he'll get to meet us and do that show with us. I ain't trying to put no pressure on you, Brandon. You know what I'm saying? But maybe have you on that show, Sunday show, pretty soon. But hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? I'm going to plug a few of my peoples, but before I do that, I'm gonna bring in my guest so I can plug in with him so he can have a conversation with me while I do this. I say triumphant return because it is. I remember back in his Kickstarter, you know, a lot of us did, and it turned out pretty great. Got like 2 wonderful issues. I wish I can find it in my collection. I was trying to find it today, and I'm like, where did I put it? Because I put it with all my indies and stuff like that, and I kind of separated them. All those boxes I have back there, I gotta straighten that stuff out because I was hoping to have it for the show, but I don't. But he knows I got one. I got a Kickstarter because my name is on there on the Kickstarter. But without further ado, you guys know I'm always talking. I talk forever. Let me bring my guy in. You know what I mean? Brandon, my man from Dismay Comics. What is going on? Welcome back to the Big Herm Show.
Thank you for having me again. Yeah, thank you. That was a big intro. And yeah, I know you have those copies because I remember sending them to you. I was very thankful for you getting that great value bundle because there was a lot of value within that bundle. Thank you.
Yeah, man, you got the original copy, the variant signed. You got some stickers, I believe, or something. There was a bunch of stuff in there. I have them all in I put them all together and in my collection, but it's in there like it's probably stuck in the bottom because like when you put your boxes together and stuff like that, I started working on the indies. I put like the miscellaneous indie box because it's not Image, it's not, you know, it's all the indie titles, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I put it there. It's safely in there because I do cherish it. You're my first creator on my channel that actually want to come on my channel. Like the creator wants to come on my channel, you know what I mean? That's pretty cool. So I always appreciate that. And for you to come back here for your second issue was supposed to be like sooner than this, right? You're supposed to have like something sooner, but it delayed.
It was one of those things where ultimately it was my fault. There was a lot going on with work and different stuff like that to where I originally thought it was going to come out like January or February. But with work and different stuff, it kind of got pushed a little bit. But maybe there won't be as much of a delay once we get into like issues 3 and 4 later down the road.
hopefully, because
Yeah.
we are itching to keep reading, and in this one we'll talk about it in a second. I don't want to say, but I'm gonna say a cliffhanger at the end. I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
Come on, Brandon. Come on. So real quick before we get to that, I got a few things that's happening today. I like to call it the unofficial pre-show for the Dylan show tonight. Dylan show, they're going over Christine, awesome John Carpenter movie. Robbie, Dylan, I think Phable, one of my co-hosts, my other co-host Stefan, he's gonna be in there. Missing Link. I think Vernal's gonna be on there too. So they're gonna have a fantastic show, 8:15 Eastern, on the Dylan show on his channel on the YouTube. Guys, check that out. Great movie. Old school movie. You ever seen that movie?
It's been a while. It's one of those things where I see the Dylan horror show stuff, and like I'll try to watch it if I have the time, if I haven't like seen it before. But I do definitely check out the ones I have seen. Like I saw the Midsummer discussion and all that stuff. Like, yeah. Not saying like I haven't seen old horror movies, because I just said Midsummer. That came out like 2 or 3 years ago. There's a lot of classic horror movies that I like, but that was the most recent one I remember checking out.
Well, you have some horror memorabilia, like I remember from last time and all that. That you're always showing. So
yeah, a couple things, little clowns and stuff, random stuff.
Jeez, they're awesome, man. They're awesome. Like we all have our hobbies, but I'm always amazed when you show stuff like that, because now we all don't have that hobby. But I do appreciate you for that, man. Real quick, my man Nick Comic Culture, he had like his comic book review, his Nick at Night. It didn't happen at night. He had some issues too, but he finally got that in. So check that out on the Rewind. He's gonna be on again in the morning. Comic book called Creative Story Mystery Box Hangout, Huntsville. All that he did in Huntsville with Robbie and all them over there. So Expo, he's gonna probably talk about all that. Open up that box that they have, the PCP Pop Culture Philosopher's box right there. So check him out. I don't have many other thumbnails. We have Brandon Comickings. He's probably gonna have a show soon. He's been on hiatus himself. So some of us has been in hiatus and all that, but we're gonna start doing our shows. You know, we had like our own little schedules and stuff. My schedule has completely changed. So yeah, man, I'm hoping this Wednesday I can have like a show for Whiplash Wednesday, Return on Whiplash Wednesday. My man Primetime Tom, we're gonna go over the Amazing Spider-Man, the first one that came out. It's not gonna happen this Wednesday, but it's gonna happen soon. Look out for that. And man, I think I did. Oh, I can't forget the Amazing Collected Edition show, May 9th, 6 p.m. Eastern. Another ball with my man Fargate, talking about collector's editions and omnibuses, what we read, what's coming up, all that. Check it out. New shows coming up. Finally got all that out of the way. Everybody knows me. It takes me like 10 minutes to get into a show. But we're here, man. I usually go to the chats. Let me see who's in the chats. We got a man, Chamorro Cinema. We just talk about him. And of course, the creative director for the PCB Army Bad Batch. Hi, hun. Awesome. She's the one that created the thumbnail. My wife is awesome with that. Does it for almost everybody in the Bad Batch. Whoever asks for it, she's there. Awesome. Brother Joe, what's going on? We got Perry Station to you. We got Legion. Mark, what's up, bro? Station, thanks for coming by. Appreciate all of you guys. We are Legion. That's right. Yeah. Everybody saying hi to Legion. All right, man. I think that's everybody for now. You know what I mean? Anybody come in, pop up, have questions, let us know right here. I forget how to start these things because we did do a show. We kind of don't want to repeat everything we said last time. Anybody who missed that show, you can go back in the archives. I do have a list and all that in there, playlist, and you can see under my favorites. Brandon's show is like the second one in there. You know what I'm saying? So he's in my favorite video because I had a ball with you that day. We did 90 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
It's awesome. Yeah, thank
Like
you.
that. So yeah. So I don't think we're gonna do 90 minutes today. I have to go somewhere, but I'm not gonna rush it because I always have a ball with you. We do have the Dylan show at 8:15, so I'm not trying to go over that. Maria says hi to you. My mom, Station mom. Yeah, man. So you want me to show the trailer now? Might as well show the trailer. Yeah. Man, too, guys. Without further ado, a trailer. When you showed me this, I'm like, oh, he's got a trailer. That's amazing. So you're getting far. You know, issue 2, and we're already getting the trailer up in here. But let's check out the trailer, guys. I hope you guys like it. There you go. Boom. Everybody can see that. I hope it works for me. It worked last time. But boom. All right, come on. Man, Brandon saw me do this earlier and it worked. Now it's like, no, I don't want to work for you right now. Oh, here we go.
Ready for the epic tales of Town City superheroes to continue? Me neither, but this trailer is for the second issue of the Gallows Man, so I guess I must go on. Follow the Gallows Man and his team as they struggle to get closer to the Nazi threat that took the life of the Gallows Man's former mentor. Editor's note, go back to issue 1. That was some seriously brutal stuff. I mean, geez Louise, the man's head was squashed like a tomato. Also, it was a flashback. I cannot spoil the past, silly listener. Will the Gallows Man and his team stop the Nazi cult hidden within the town city before it's too late? Find out by backing the second issue of the Gallows Man today over on Kickstarter. A second issue? Now that's surprising. I can't believe they had me reading for this book again. If only I could live out my life by doing voiceover work I yearn for, and say things like, "Your mama's so fat when she sits around the house, she sits around the house. Ooh, ooh. England is my city. Beep, boop, boop, bop, boop, boop, beep. Music peaked with the creation of ska. Boop, boop, beep, beep. If I could say all of those things, only then would I finally reach Nirvana."
He sits around the house.
It was one of those things where we did a trailer with the same voiceover guy, and we did a trailer with him for the first Kickstarter. And when I wrote the script and stuff, I saw demos of his work, like his voiceover work. I was looking for that 1940s radio announcer because it's fitting for the Gallows Man. It's set in the 1940s and stuff. And his demos were perfect. And my friend Tio that we have a podcast with, I was like, hey, can you help me? I put it this way. I was like, okay, so imagine a 1940s radio announcer. Now imagine stuff he would never say that you would want to hear him say. And so we wrote up a script, and that first trailer is on my Instagram page. It's also on that first Kickstarter page. And we got him to say like over a minute's worth of stupid stuff like me mow, moo mow, I am a cow. What are you talking about, Willis? Like we had him say it like that. Just stupid stuff that we wanted to hear a 1940s. Yeah, we wanted to hear a 1940s radio announcer say. And then with this one, I still wanted a little touch of that. So I got him to say a few things. And the guy, the voiceover guy, is just like so nice in being able to, being willing to put up with my crap, like my stupid stuff for him to say. It's amazing that he's willing to say it all. So, yeah.
So how long did it take to try to get this trailer put together? Was it long or a day or something?
Ultimately, it was first I had to hire the voice actor. I've worked with him on Fiverr. That's how I found him, was through Fiverr. And basically, I just had to write out a script. I had to write out a script that I knew would be like less than 2 minutes, because our last trailer was like 2 minutes and 30 seconds or something. I was like, let's pull it back a little bit. So this one was less than 2 minutes. That includes like that halfway point where it's just him saying dumb stuff that I had him say. But wrote that, sent it to him to do the voiceover work for, and then pulled pages and images off of the Gallows Man, as well as like stock images and stuff for the editor. Like I hired an editor as well to basically compile all those pages, compile the voiceover work into a video, basically. So in total, from writing the trailer script to getting the trailer back from the video editor, maybe 2 to 3 weeks. It wasn't too bad. Luckily, I had experience with it with that first Kickstarter, so this time it wasn't as stressful when trying to find an editor and trying to find a voice actor. So it was good.
Yeah, you discussed the first time we did this how you went through that whole thing to find everybody, but now, like exactly what you just said, now you're experiencing it now, and you just found that one thing. You had everything else in place. That's pretty cool that you're able to find a voice actor. I didn't know you could find them like that neither.
Oh yeah, like not trying to discredit like talent agents, the agents that like find good actors and stuff, but like anyone who's trying to do like production of any kind, if you're trying to do a trailer, if you're needing help with YouTube or a film or whatever it is, you can find creatives on Fiverr who are willing to help, editors, people who are willing to do digital art for you, all kinds of stuff. This somehow turned into me giving a Fiverr ad, even though I'm not sponsored by Fiverr or anything.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Hopefully one day I could just get a guy voice over just my shows or something like that. Hey, I am Gallows Man. You know what I mean? Like
at first I thought you were talking about like you would do like a like you would like in when they're doing like dubbings for Japanese movies, like you would go like, and then you, while your mouth is just going like, you just hear, "It is me, Big Herm," like a very different voice or whatever.
Actually, that's a better idea right there. But some people probably say I should do the voiceover of my own stuff because I do voices all the time. You should have hired me. You know what I'm saying? I could have done it.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
No, I'm not professional at it at all. So there's no way. Don't hire me. But that's amazing. I saw the trailer. I enjoyed it. You got the corny joke in there. That's still funny, even though it's corny. It shows some of the comic strips up in there. Before we get to this comic, the last comic, it seemed like a very successful. You were able to. I mean, I know you set the bar a little low from your Kickstarter, but still it did very well. And great books, man. Good material and all that. And I like that Marvel stuff or the Image stuff that's going on right now with the paper. But I'm hoping it stays like that for you guys, right? You're not doing that crappy paper, right?
It should. I'm going through the same printer that I went through last time, and even though there are still with any printer, there's like paper shortages and stuff. They said that they still have the same quality, so it should still turn out as good as it did, which was very good.
Yeah, I'm definitely so you got the Kickstarter where the first issue left off. You want to give a quick synopsis of that particular issue before we get into the second issue?
Yeah, I can actually give like a pretty good synopsis without really spoiling anything, because I know we got a lot of people coming back after reading issue 1. But I know there will be a few people where this is like their first time getting into Gallows Man. So I'll give like a good flavor of it all without really spoiling too much from issue 1, but big thing with issue 1 is ultimately I should just give a little synopsis before I say anything with this. So if you haven't heard of the Gallows Man at all, haven't heard what it's about or anything, it's set in the 1940s. It's in the 1940s. It's a satirically over the top and campy world of superheroes, and within that world you have the Gallows Man. The Gallows Man and his team, they must take out this Nazi threat that has infiltrated their city. They have to take it out not only to save the city, but to avenge the death of the Gallows Man's former mentor. And that's basically a synopsis of, or a premise of the whole mini-series, because this is going to be a 4-issue mini-series. But with issue 1, basically where we left off is we're Gallows Man and Newsboy, they're trying to find leads onto this big Nazi threat and finding this big Nazi threat. But there's trouble. There's trouble in finding this big Nazi threat, to where it's like, are we kind of out of leads? Like, where do we go from there? So it kind of leaves off there. And then in issue 2, it picks up, and not to spoil anything, but it picks up in a way, at least a time different from what you would think. It doesn't pick up the next day. Some time passes, and they're still hot on the trail trying to get leads about this Nazi cult that is within Town City.
Yeah. And I remember finishing that one and wanting to see the next one. So like I noticed and this one, you even said it the last time, this one is not gonna start off where it left off. It kind of like start off a little slow and something like that with the new one. Then it gets to everything and tells more of the story of what happened in the last year a little bit. You know what I mean? We get the return of my man Hang Mutt. You know what I mean? My favorite puppy in comics. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He takes a dump in the corner while he wakes up. Oh man! And of course, again, they're both wearing their mask and all that. So they're pretty much, that's their identity, right? And then the secret identity is well, it would be our secret identity, but it's in reverse. He takes off the mask. Yeah. That's the secret identity, the person. And he's like, go ahead.
I was also going to mention with the Hangmutt thing, even if someone hasn't read this isn't a spoiler, but with the Hangmutt thing, in issue 1, Gallows Man cleans up the poop. In issue 2, Gallows Man doesn't clean up the poop. If you've read the issue, you understand all that. If you haven't, then it's just random stuff. I didn't really spoil anything for you.
Little nuggets you put in there. You know what I mean? I'm hoping we'll see Hangmutt in every issue. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to put the pressure on you to put him in there all the time. You know what I mean? He probably, maybe he's not warranted to be in the next few issues, but I'm hoping to see him in there. He's a character. He's my favorite character in the whole thing.
I will say this. Again, this is going to be a 4-issue miniseries, and each issue are double-sized issues for anyone wondering. Like, story in each issue is roughly around 49 pages each. That's just story. There's also like some behind-the-scenes extra stuff within the books themselves. But with each issue, it's around 48, 49 pages each. But regarding Hangmutt, even if you don't see him too much more within this miniseries, there's a lot of potential after this 4-issue miniseries for possibly a sequel miniseries, but for sure an anthology miniseries where it kind of focuses on some stuff going on with Town City, like some of your characters you don't see a lot of. You see a little bit more of them, such as Hangmutt or Newsboy or Bertwald the Butler or some of the villains in Far Side Alley. Like you'll see a little bit more of the world within like that anthology book. I'm currently writing that, but that's later down the road after this miniseries.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Because I'm probably jumping the gun a bunch of time, but you see us like after the show, look at me. It's like a show. After the issue ends, you have like a little like epilogue or a little mini story towards the end with the newsboy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Newsboy.
yeah. And this isn't really spoiling anything for that 2-issue or that 2-page thing that Herm is talking about. It's a Newsboy little mini comic. It's a 2-page thing. It's after basically credits and stuff like that, and it's basically his mom tucking him in for bed. That's the quickest, easiest way to say it, but it was a lot of fun to write. Yeah. His bed is a coffin, and you can also look at details around his room. He has like jars of like dead frogs and all this stuff. It's something else seeing his room. But when I wrote that 2-page thing, it was after, and I mentioned in the book, it'd been a while before I had wrote a comic script, and that was only a 2-page comic, but it felt so good to write that because it had been over a year since I wrote a comic script, because I'm just so busy editing all the comics I've written. I just haven't had the time to really sit down and write more script. So even though that's a 2-page thing, it was great to write that. And that 2-page thing like inspired me to do a potential like anthology series in the future, where you'll have like an issue that might have like 5 or 6 stories like that, like ranging in page length and stuff.
I like it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. The way it ended, I'm not gonna say much for people to read it. 2-page things. It was so funny. I enjoyed it because in the main story, he's his Robin. You know what I mean? He's Gallows Robin and all that. And in this one, things get so intense that he tells them to hold back. You can't come with me in this one. And he's like, why? Not like that, but you know, I gotta do my little voice.
And you have Gallows man look at him. He says, "No buts,
no buts." And this is the 40s, so they're not very nice when they say no. They're a bunch of a-holes when they say no. You can tell. And I like the details in a lot of this. You can see sometimes like you see strips and stuff showing emotions and stuff like that. The artist did a good job. It gives you a feel like you're reading this from the 40s. You know what I mean? But in a new way. So I did enjoy that. Man, there's so much to cover. I just don't want to give up everything. I like that. Like I said, the undercover, when he takes off the mask, he's moping around, and you got some kids going, "Hey, man!" He's like Debbie Downer kind of dude. Walking around. It's like when he's in the mask, he's like, "Hey!" And when he takes off the mask, he's like, "Oh." You know what I mean?
And with that plays off of how the last issue ended and kind of how this one ended. And we need more leads, but we don't really have any leads. And this is, it starts off a little bit of time passed from the first issue, like where the first issue ended. So there's been like that chunk of time of we need leads, but we haven't really got any. So it's kind of gotten to his head a little bit.
The waiting game really heavy on him. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you see Batman and Robin trying to look around the city and there's hardly any crime that day. They kind of question it, kind of thing. But this guy looks like he's been waiting longer. Oh man, real quick, my man, Phable Station
Phable.
It's gonna be on the Dilla show later. Like I said earlier, have a great show. Constantine, they're going over 8:15 p.m. after this show with the unofficial pre-show to that to that horror show, which is like it's kind of like, this is kind of like a little bit of a horror kind of comic, a little bit. You got a little bit action, you got a little bit of horror, because you do have like these Ryan Otley types, you know.
yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
you know what I mean, with the news and all that, because that's how he fights crime at that time. Like if and it doesn't matter what you're doing. You could, if you're trying to murder somebody or even just rob somebody. Dude just robbed somebody's purse, right? He takes him out with the news, no questions asked, and brutally murders him. It's just like, That won't be that's you'll be canceled these days if you try to do stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah, and like kind of showing like they are superheroes, but kind of showing like in that line of like, okay, he's murdering this guy, but he murdered a guy who stole a purse. Like, not to spoil this one, but that 2-page where Newsboy is going to sleep, like the dream that he has,
Yeah,
is that's pretty intense. What he does within the dream to that person who didn't do much.
yeah. I'm just looking at it like, this kid is like they can't think like that these days. But that's that's a little bit how it was that day. It was a little more extreme. People think it's like those days like were a little more innocent than today. But like now people know more stuff because of social media. Back then they didn't have that. So even though it was always around, man. That kind of stuff was always around.
Well, definitely with Golden Age. I mean, you had a lot of like heroes or superheroes who were just murdering people, bad guys, but they were murdering people.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Batman did it. I think he was kind of doing
early on. He had a gun, not for super long, but he did have a gun.
Yes, he had a gun. So they try to change all that in the future, but the Golden Age was very unforgiving.
Oh yeah,
it's not for today.
Yeah, ultimately, I don't agree with the comics code that came about, but I do at that time understand that it would come about or why it would come about. It went to an extreme that it shouldn't have, but I do kind of get how it came about.
Yeah, I think they did go overboard. That I want to say his name. I don't even remember his name when he did all that. Talking about bad comics are bad and all that. But when you have your kid, especially these days, your kid picking up a comic and you got a superhero murdering people, like you know what I mean? There was a lot of at that time when the world wars were happening, they put all that in the comic. You know what I mean? And like this one, just like this, like Nazi kind of things in there too, for all that. So that's why I like this comic. Like I'm enjoying it because you have a lot of that in there. You're not trying to go too overboard, and if you're not sensitive towards the material, you're able to enjoy it. Don't take it too serious. It's just from that time something fun, a superhero with a noose around his neck. You know what I mean? And then one of the moments when he finds out a secret lair or warehouse that they have a bunch of boxes in there with the Nazi sign. He tries to investigate, and he has a machine. The machine doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? And
which with some of that stuff, like with like Gallows Man himself, like the imagery of the superhero with a noose it's pretty intense, but that's kind of just how Golden Age was. It was like, what the heck? I mean, you literally had this is part of what the Gallows Man, the character, is inspired by. You had the Golden Age Hangman comics. It was like 5 or 6 issues where, as the name implies, it's this dude who's killing people, killing bad guys by hanging them and stuff. And that's like, whoa, like what the heck? It's this thing where if you're reading it here, have fun reading the comic, but do understand, like, there's a reason. Like, this is an over the top thing. Like, think about it in like, what the heck? Like, this is supposed to feel kind of Golden Age, and like, oh, so because that's kind of how the Gallows Man world is. You have all these people who are like okay with violence and okay, they're like desensitized to violence and murder. Not saying that's all of Golden Age comics or what Golden Age comics are, but I mean, then as well as like nowadays, there is some desensitization to violence and gore that we've had because we've just seen so much of it. Where if you see a bloody or gory scene in a horror movie or anything, you're just like, oh yeah, cool. Like it's There is a little bit of that, and then with the Nazi swastika thing, like with all the boxes having swastikas on it and stuff, part of that is somewhat influenced by the Nazi party at the time in the 1940s, where this was so insane. Their greeting to one another was saying "Hell Hitler," to where it was so insane. If anyone has seen Jojo Rabbit, Taika Waititi shows a hilarious, basically showing how it was, where people would walk up, knock on your door, and you're both greeting each other by saying that. It's like, what the heck? And so this swastika thing, like Major Swastika's obsession with swastikas, is basically that, where it's like over the top. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Similar to that whole them greeting each other by saying hell and the guy's name. It's that weird over the top stuff that just was around at the time.
Yeah. It's yeah, I can't imagine how it is that time, taking a time machine, going back at that time. Like you always like grow up, you think about that time and you think about the high ends of it, but you don't know much about the low ones, what goes around behind the scenes and all that. And the way they thought and stuff, things behind the scene, people think it's bad now. That back then it was really bad. At least now you can see everything because of social media and all that. You'll get caught, and people are like, that really closes down people. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna get caught, man. You don't want that image out there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Back into the comic. I don't know. You want me to talk about this review real quick, or you want to just leave that for people to read? Because the review of the figure right there.
Are you talking about at the very end?
Yeah.
I'll leave. I will say this with a little bit of the reveal, not the last page reveal, but towards the end, a villain that you've been introduced to, you do finally see him again. So fear not, you will see him again, and it's a superhero comic. Eventually, he will get his comeuppance. You have to see when,
or will it,
or will he? Yeah, you'll have to buy issues 3 and 4 to find out.
Oh man, let's go, guys. Let's back up this number 2 so we can get 3 and 4. You know.
No, but it's interesting, and not to spoil anything, but that very last page, that's very over the top of Gallows Man and where he is. It's ultimately over the top because Major Swastika is this idiot who is obsessed with swastikas, and this is just another example of his stupid obsession.
Yeah. So awesome image. Leave it at that. Love it already. I want to figure now. You know what I'm saying? Now you get the I'm not trying to put any pressure on you, but you know, you did the trailer. Now I want to figure, and that he should be on the series 1.
Yeah. What's hilarious is in this upcoming Kickstarter, like I have like some add-on tiers, like people can do them if they want, but I included like this sticker from the last Kickstarter as an add-on tier, and I put in it like if you wanted a Gallows Man action figure and I haven't made one yet, I guess you can pretend that it's an action figure. And we'll also have a Noose Boy sticker for this Kickstarter. So it's like, now you can have them beat up bad guys together as stickers.
And the third one, you get the villain. See, there you go. I want that villain. Now I got expectations. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Real quick, so we can like wrap this for, because I don't want to give up the whole thing. You know what I mean? I want people to know that, because I enjoyed it. It had that slow burn in the beginning, but it picks up and stuff like that. Which is, the slow burn is good because you get to feel the emotions of the hero and all that, and everything that's going on, and him hanging out with his boss. His secret identity is actually, you know, him as being a human, you know, out there instead of the mask. And yeah, where was I going with this? Yeah, so you see that, and you see their interactions and all that. That's pretty funny too. But like I said, I don't want to give everyone. I want people to read this. Read the right after the credits. You see the second story we talked about with the newsboy, and also you got a comic strip at the end, promoting your podcast. So real quick, you want to promote the podcast real quick?
Yeah, sure. Me and my buddy Tio, we started Store Brand Comics as the podcast. You can find it on most podcast listening apps. If you can't find it on the one you use, you can go to Spotify and it's there. But yeah, basically a quarter of the time we're talking about random stuff. It usually ropes back into comics or Batman or poop somehow. Somehow we get on the topic of poop somehow. I don't know. I think that's my fault. A quarter of the time we're talking about that stuff, philosophical stuff with comics. And then the other quarter of the time we're talking about something, but half of the podcast is basically us doing pitches, like pitching our fanfic comic, basically, like our Batman title, our Captain American title. Like, we've done a Marvel reboot series to where we've basically done like Valiant Comics, how they rebooted back in 2012. We were like, what if Marvel did a reboot like that? Like, kind of similar to New 52. And so we were like, okay, let's try doing that. And we basically had like 16 comic titles in the first year, and we gave stories and arcs for all of those, to where now we're like pitching ideas for year 3. Like, we've been doing that idea since the beginning of the podcast 2 years ago. And then the other times we're coming up with random pitches, like Predator on the Planet of the Apes. That was what if Predator crash landed on the Planet of the Apes, and that was a fun little pitch we had there. But just little stuff, and also none of it's scripted. The only scripted thing is like, hey, what should the idea be? It's like, okay, let's take Predator. Okay, let's take Planet of the Apes. Okay, let's not talk about it anymore till we start recording. And then once we record, it's basically an amateur writing room. We're hashing it out and come up with something by the end of it.
That's pretty interesting. I kind of like that, because a lot of times if you talk about it before a screen or something like that, you forget what you said because you already said it. You know what I mean? When you say it's fresh, that's why I like when I'm gonna hashtag Blame Phable show tonight, which returns May 15th, 6 p.m. Guys, see it. When I go on there, I don't want to discuss it with the fellas until I get on there, because it's fresh out of my head and I won't forget anything I wanted to say. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it's fresh out of your head. Plus, it's like, it doesn't feel like anyone's giving like fake reactions or fake comments after that. Because if me and Tio, we pitch this thing in our messages or on a phone call, and then we record and do the same thing, there's going to be reactions like, oh yeah, that makes sense, that's cool. Like it'll all be fake. Whereas like with this, whenever one of us comes up with a really good idea within the pitch, we're like, oh crap, yes, and then this, and it just goes off like that.
Yeah, the natural feeling is always the best. That's what I love. I love it. That's why, like, when I talk about this, we didn't talk too much about this in the backstage, because I wanted to talk about this thing right here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Reaction. That's what I thrive on that. So yeah, man. So guys, anything Kickstarter and all that, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But Kickstarter, anything, all that, the link is in the box below. You go straight to his site, the Dismay Comics site. You can have all the information on there between the Kickstarter, his podcast, everything is on there, which is pretty cool. I didn't have to like do different links. I just boom, put that one link. You could get everything in there, which I appreciate you sending me that. And yeah, all good stuff, great creation stuff.
And they can go to that that Kickstarter page, and right now it's a pre-launch page. The actual Kickstarter, it'll launch May 3rd at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So even though you aren't able to back it right now, there's a little thing at the bottom when you go to that page that says notify me on launch. So if you're worried about forgetting, you can click that, and it won't notify you once it launches, but it will notify you 48 hours before the Kickstarter ends. And Kickstarter ends like June 2nd or June 3rd. But if you do want to be on the ground floor of backing it, like within the first 24 hours or 48 hours, you can follow me on Kickstarter, like follow my profile on Kickstarter. So whenever it does launch, you'll get an email about it and you'll be ready to go, basically.
Sweet. Yeah, that definitely people, people forget, I want to do that. You know what I mean? They remind themselves like exactly that way, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's understandable.
You got a whole month to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably gonna be one of the first ones to do it when it starts. You know what I mean? I can't wait. I do want to kick. Dog Pound Brown had a Kickstarter not too long ago. He was on my show that time. He had a wonderful Kickstarter. He was very successful, so I'm happy for that. So I want my people to get the comics out. You know what I mean? It's very exciting to have that out. I'm sure when the first issue finally came out and you were able to send it to people, I'm sure you were excited to send it to them.
It was a surreal feeling because at that point I had printed comics and stuff like that. Hold on, my dog's barking.
It's all good. We all have one.
Yeah, but I printed. I need to talk back to her in dog. I need to bark back. She'll understand. But I mean, it's one thing to print your comic and see your comic printed. That was a surreal thing like over a year ago. It was another thing whenever I got it in a comic book shop for the first time, like seeing it on the shelf. That was like extremely surreal for me, having it in a comic shop. And then it was even more surreal when I had 50 plus people back the first Kickstarter and like 50 plus people want to read this book and printing it and not just getting like 10 proof copies, like 10, because before I did it, I got like some copies to see if I like the paper quality and all that.
Yeah.
But getting it from the printer itself, getting like over 100 copies just at my door and like unboxing it, I was like, holy cow, like almost 100 of these are going out to people. Like, this is insane. Like it took forever for it to like click with me. And I just remember at that time I had gotten into the show Fargo, which really great show. Hopefully a season 5 happens, but I was into Fargo and I was just binging Fargo. And as I was watching Fargo, I was just packaging the comics and stuff. Like, I had a little table set out. I had all my stuff set out, and I was just watching Fargo, just packaging these comics. It was an amazing thing, something I'll definitely remember for a while.
That's amazing. Now, hopefully soon you get to do it for number 2.
Yes. If Fargo season 5 would have came out this year, I would have been able to relive last year's packaging and stuff. But I'll find some other show to binge while I'm packaging.
Oh, there's so many out there. Social media, physical media, physical media, digital media. It's everywhere now. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like there's so much. Just go to anyone. Disney, Netflix, and all that. Hopefully one day you can come back on here. We can talk about all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like if we weren't pressing for time a little bit today. But it's all good. We got everything. And real quick, you also at the end, it has a Gallows Man 3, and it says not actual cover. So that we gotta wait for.
Yeah.
You got Dismay Avenue 1 and 2. What are those about? Those what you were talking about? Like
so those aren't related to the Gallows Man. Those are actually stuff I've been working on before even making the Gallows Man comic. It's some horror anthology stuff It was kind of the first comics I was working on. And I hope to get, it'll be both issues, Dismay Avenue #1 and Dismay Avenue #2. Kickstarters for those most likely 95% sure that I will have a Kickstarter for those in October, likely early October. I'd like to have it in the fall time because horror and everything.
Yeah, that's
but those,
part of it.
yeah. And my I love horror. Like, out of any genre, horror is one of my favorites, watching or writing. And a lot of inspiration from those comes from stuff like the classic Twilight Zone show. That's one of my favorite shows. I love the Twilight. Yeah, exactly. The Twilight Zone, as well as like there's a reason it's called Dismay Avenue. It's not called like Scary Street or anything like that. Dismay does imply that there can be some horror with it, but ultimately the state of dismay is just like broken down. So there's going to be some different horror that you'll see. There's going to be obviously some psychological horror and stuff, but not the typical blood and gore stuff. There's a couple things like that, but it's going to be very different.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You're opening your world, your whole little world. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have what do you call that? Sequels to your Gallows, man. You're gonna have like other from the Gallows world. So your own Gallowverse. There you go.
Yeah, the Gallows man will open up. Dismay Avenue, the horror anthology series. Like, I have 2 issues, issue 1 and 2, completely done. I just have to work on a couple things editing wise, and then issue 3 is nearly done. There's one story that needs art done for that, but I have stories written for up to issue 6 or 7 that are already done, written. I just got to get artists and stuff for it. So if it all goes well and it just progresses, you can see at least up to Dismay Avenue #6 or Dismay Avenue #7 of scripts that I have already written. I can always write more scripts, but I have it all there basically to progress forward with.
Yeah, some supporters here.
Thank you, JT.
He loves that. The circumstances, what's up, what's going on? He's definitely looking forward to getting a chance to back this and read it. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
A whole lot of fun. We had Flash pop in. You know what I mean? We had John Thomas. You know what I mean? We got my man Phable up in here still. You know what I'm saying? Nominations and all that. We had so many people popping. Inja Benja up in the house. Chief R.D. Harris, my man's in the house. There's so many people pop in here while we were talking. You know what I mean? I totally appreciate you guys coming on here and supporting us. And this is my first time I've been on here in a while on my channel and stuff. Like I said, I've been doing little shows here and there with Phable and Steph and all my guys up there. But awesome, like we know each other through Chamorro Cinema. You know what I mean? I can never forget that guy. He always drops some good videos on there. Has his round tables and stuff like that. You got ComicManAndy, who he had Mark Wade on the other week, and awesome. People on Bad Batch is on fire. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad you like a member of ours, you know what I mean? Because you've been on a lot of our shows, our friend and stuff like that. So I'm definitely looking forward to having our 3rd episode about ComicManAndy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like to creep into the PCP army. I don't collect floppies anymore. The only floppies I collect are like from Kickstarters and stuff. Like, I'll buy Kickstarters and stuff. Like, last one I bought DP Brown's Theme of Thieves #1 and 2. Enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to issue 3. He's building. Something's going to happen in issue 3 or 4 that I'm looking forward to. But yeah, even though I don't collect floppies, I do collect trades. So I can't stay completely up to date. So some of the stuff y'all talk about, I then read like 6 or 7 months later, and then I'm like, all right, now I'm on board. Now I get it.
that's perfect for us because a lot of us, we're backlog. That's why they call us backlog bros. I still don't know what that is, but that's what people call us. I don't know what a backlog bro is, but that's what they call us. A lot of us are always behind. Myself, Phable, he'll catch up here and there. He's always behind. A lot of us are, you know what I'm saying? The only one that really catches up to everything is Nick. He's on it all the time, and Brandon ComicKings, so they have their shows are for that. But man, there's so many good stuff out there, and there's so many different ways of reading. You don't have to collect the floppies to do it. You know what I mean? Although I prefer the floppies. That's why when your Kickstarter comes out, I prefer the physical issue. In that Kickstarter, you can also get the digital stuff, right? Just to support the.
That's something to mention for those that like. If you live out of the United States, I completely understand getting a digital copy because shipping prices are so stupid out of state. Like the cost of shipping out of the United States is so dumb. So if you want to read the story, but you don't want to pay insane prices and you live out of the United States and you want to read this book, just get the digital copies. Like every little bit helps. There's reward tiers for this Kickstarter that ranges from $1 all the way to $70. Any little bit helps. Digital copies, you can get both issues 1 and 2 for $8. Again, I mentioned there's a ton each issue. It's not just a standard size issue. They're double-sized issues of actual story. I'm not saying double-sized issue in Marvel or DC's terms where it's like, yeah, we got 48 pages, but 5 pages of that is ads. I'm not saying that. You have 49 pages of story within issues 1 and also issue 2. So 96, I did the math wrong, I think. 98 pages of story right there. Almost 100 pages of story, $8. Plus you get a bunch of behind the scenes stuff within the book. Definitely worth it. And then physical copies, they start at $10 and they go up from there all the way up to $70 tier, which I took a page out of DP Brown's Kickstarter. He did the metal cover tier, and I saw that unboxing that he did of his metal covers for Theme of Thieves. I was like, dang, I love the way that looks. Because I could have went for like, I'll do a hollow foil variant, or I'll do a foil variant or whatever. But when I saw those metal covers that he had, I was like, that looks worth it. That looks worth it for like a super exclusive variant. Because that's going to be a metal variant of issue 1 that I'm not going to make more than 25 of. There's not going to be more than 25 of. So for the super collectors out there, this is going to be like the rarest issue 1 of the Gallows Man you can get, really. I say I'm not going to make more than 25. I might make less than that. But I'm saying that it's maxed out at 25. I'm not going past that. But yeah, you'll get that signed by me. You'll get issue 2 signed by me and a ton of other stuff. But again, whatever works within your budget, because I understand during these times, money's tight. Gas is expensive. Groceries are expensive. I that hit me today. I went grocery shopping. I was like, holy crap. It's tough. So I understand.
We're all going to lose weight soon.
Exactly. Yeah. We're all going to lose weight by not buying as many groceries and just walking or riding our bikes places because gas is so expensive. But yeah, like any little bit helps. Again, there's 12 to 13 reward tiers, all range from $1 to $70. Whatever you feel comfortable in pledging to this Kickstarter, every little bit helps.
Nice. Real quick, your artist, she's doing all the issues too, right? Helen Bolton.
Oh yeah.
So she's doing a great job. Anybody else you want to shout out before we end this? The floor is yours. The floor was just yours.
Yeah. Helen Bolton, amazing artist. She when I say artist, I mean literally artist. She doesn't just do pencils and inks or anything. She does pencils, inks, colors, lettering. I mean, like
That's
she's
amazing.
that's more than a triple threat. I was going to say triple threat. That's a quadruple threat, basically. I should say whatever 5 is, quadtuple. Someone's got it in the comments. I should say 5 because she helps with some of the designs, like this bookmark from the first Kickstarter. She did the design for the bookmark. I mean, she's amazing. She's an amazing artist.
Hopefully we get the Newsboy bookmark.
Yes.
Every Kickstarter gets a new bookmark, you know, the villain, the third one. I'm already like
what's interesting. What's so interesting, did you see my Instagram about the upcoming bookmark? Or are you just...
I missed that one? I have you on Instagram, but I might have missed it. There's so much Instagram we got.
It's interesting you bring that up because there will be a Newsboy bookmark for this Kickstarter. So I thought that was interesting. You thought that, there will be a Newsboy one. I love this one. I kind of like the Newsboy one a little bit more. I like all of this promo material. And out of all the stuff, I love the stickers, but the bookmarks, I know they're simple. I've used the bookmarks so much. Like this bookmark is like my personal one that I use for like all my trades for the past few months. Because before that, I would just tear corners off of a piece of paper and use that as a bookmark. But this has helped a lot, so I don't look like a weirdo.
It's good. It's a bookmarks. A lot of people love bookmarks. Me, Phable, we always go to Midtown when we go over there. We've been there a couple of times. We always grab the bookmarks. You know what I'm saying? Like I have one around everywhere in my room.
There you go. Yeah.
But why do you have so many bookmarks everywhere? So I definitely, when you get those bookmarks, you know, if you want to give Herm some extras, you know what I'm saying? You know.
Oh yeah. Well, the bookmark stuff. That's going to be a stretch goal, and when the Kickstarter goes live, people will be able to see all that on the Kickstarter page of some stretch goals and stuff. But that's one of the early stretch goals that we're easily going to pass. So everyone that buys like a physical copy or up, they're getting that bookmark. They're getting likely some other stuff when we pass some more stretch goals.
Nice. So guys, support this so we could get more stretch goals, because we all love extra free stuff. You know what I'm saying? I love it. Whenever you get stickers, bookmarks, we want it all. I'm here. I want a lot. Anything for free I get. Like I said, I want the villain and the next one. I'm always gonna tell you about that. And maybe the fourth one we get the more guy. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because it's always important to have good characters in your stories. The people end up liking your backup characters more than they like your main character. That's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying?
And I liked that you said even if it's not your favorite character, I liked your emphasis on Hangmutt, because I was thinking, like, me as the writer, like
that bookmark right there.
like I like Hangmutt, but I was thinking like, oh yeah, I forgot about Hangmutt. So like someone like mentioning at least mentioning or kind of liking Hangmutt, that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, man. I want a story, because Stray Dog was my favorite indie miniseries last year. My favorite out of all of them. And I had a couple of them. So if I could have a nice little 2-page or a little 3-parter or something of that Hangmutt story or something like that, I'll take it, man. So I've given you your ideas. You can have it.
And not to like spoil too much, which I haven't even written an outline for that little Hangmutt story. I will do, but there will be a Hangmutt story in that anthology series down the road. I haven't hashed it out or done a outline or anything, but I have thought about, like, I don't want to completely rip it off, but what if I do like how Matt Fraction did Pizza Dog in Hawkeye? There was one whole issue where it was Pizza Dog's perspective. And it was, you didn't hear people talking. It was just Pizza Dog's perspective. Not saying I'm going to like rip off Matt Fraction and do that for Hangmutt. It's just something that's went on in my mind.
It's all right. totally be into that. So definitely, like, I like to be the one to push that. You know, if it comes out, oh, Big Herm pushed that. You know, it wasn't like totally my idea.
No,
I
I
took it.
will honestly say, like, when eventually that anthology series starts, when you see Hangmutt in a story, everyone here in this chat, you can thank Big Herm for that.
Yes, I had an influence. There you go. Oh man, Brandon, thanks for doing this again. I always have a ball with you. You know what I mean? I like us when we go on the other shows and stuff like that, but the one-on-one thing is one of my favorites. So I'm hoping it doesn't always have to be one-on-one, but I'm hoping you can come back one day. We can talk shows or something like that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
We'll see how your Kickstarter is going, stuff like that, and maybe I could get some pointers on number 3. You know what I mean? Get the scoop. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
Anything else you want to say before we get out of here? Real quick, the floor is yours.
Okay.
One more time, give you the floor. If I don't want to like end up removing you by mistake, there you go.
To basically wrap it up, from what we've talked about, the synopsis I gave, the trailer you saw, if you're still not hooked on it, wait till the Kickstarter goes live on May 3rd at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And then you'll be able to see the full Kickstarter page. There's tons of preview pages because, like I mentioned before, there's tons of pages in each one of these issues. So you'll see like 7 preview pages from each issue. So you're getting like 14 preview pages. If it's not for you based on the preview pages as well as the descriptions I have in the Kickstarter page, at least you gave all of that a chance. You looked at it, you said, it's not for me. But if that stuff is for you, I highly recommend backing it. And again, I know money's tight, budgets are tight, my budgets are tight. I understand. So there's reward tiers ranging from $1 to $70. Like I mentioned before, digital copies for both issues start, it's $8 for a digital copy of both issues. If you already read issue 1 and you just want to read issue 2, but you want a digital copy of issue 2, just $5 for a digital copy of issue 2. And that's something I forgot to mention is if you read issue 1, there's tons of reward tiers for you if you're just wanting to continue the story. If you haven't read either issue 1 or 2, there's plenty of issues or plenty of reward tiers for you as well. There's catch-up reward tiers. There's all kinds of stuff, all at pretty good value as well. You'll get a lot of bang for your buck in a lot of those reward tiers. But again, I'm thankful for everyone that has given me an audience. I'm thankful for Big Herm for doing this. And I'm thankful for all you guys who have supported me in this making comics journey. Basically, I love doing this, and I look forward to seeing where it goes and getting these books into you guys' hands. But just remember, May 3rd, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. A lot of the biggest progress that happens in Kickstarters is within that first 24 to 48 hours. So if you can be there at the beginning of that Kickstarter when it launches on May 3rd, that would be great. So thank you guys.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna try to go after the metal one, man. That's pretty interesting. See if I could do that. Hopefully, the lady lets me. You know what I mean? Don't beat me. That's pretty interesting. And I wasn't able to get the Dog Pound one, but like when he comes out with a Kickstarter again, I'm gonna make sure I get maybe one of his metal ones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I always love supporting you guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being on here, like always. I'll wrap real quick. We're the unofficial pre-show for the #Dylan Show. You know what I mean? Let me leave that comment. Get it out. Thank you, Trade Paper. He said he was gonna support it May 3rd. But real Constantine going up in there. My man Dylan, Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophers, Phable, One Collection Down, Missing Link, and think Verno, yeah, I'm gonna be on that show tonight. And the Kickstarter, make sure you get the Gallows Man Kickstarter up in here. You know what I'm saying? The Gallows Man 2, get it. You know what I'm saying? That's my Verno impression for the day. The very guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Brandon. We'll be back with episode number 3 of this. This is an unofficial series now for every issue of Gallows Man. 4 issues, you guys heard it, mini series. I can't wait. We're almost halfway there. Get this Kickstarter so we can get issue 3 up in here. Station to you all. And man, without further ado, you know what I mean? It always takes me forever to end these shows. And now my computer decides it wants to act up and not let me do what I need to do to end the show. But guys, love you. May of course tomorrow morning against Nick Comic Culture. He'll be 10 a.m. Eastern, talking about that Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo. Had fun over there, meeting Robbie and all that. So check out my boys. Check everybody at Peace Beyond Bad Back. Their links is down below. And of course, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Ding, ding, ding that bell for notification for future videos. And check out everything down in the box below, including my man here, Brandon Ingram, Dismay Comics, Gallows Man 2. Get it, guys. And Station, peace out.